Hello and welcome to this video. In this video I'll be showing you what I got up to on my 7-day trip to Helsinki, Finland to visit my friend Joakim. On this trip I decided to only take my Yashica T5 because I was only taking a carry-on and something like my Canon AE1 would have been significantly heavier.
Yo, you're not supposed to be here. Man just pulled up.
We decided to visit the Helsinki Art Museum and explore a bit of downtown as well. We stopped for food at this really interesting Burger King in the station, which had these hugely high ceilings and this wall art, and it was unlike anything I'd ever seen. Joakim decided to take along his A7 III with a Helios 44. We got into the Helsinki Art Museum for free, thanks to this really nice employee. I didn't take any photos of the smaller sketches and traditional artwork. I did take some photos of Katarina Kors's huge draping artworks, which were presented on the upper floor of the museum.
You're breathing your own
After leaving the Helsinki Art Museum, I spotted an old video rental store which I wanted to take a photo of. But as you can see in the photo, and as I realized before I went on the trip, my Yashica is in some sort of way broken. The focusing is absolutely terrible, and it decides that it will miss and also underexpose the photos significantly. I'm not sure if the focusing is user error or if the camera is actually broken, but it misses about 30% of the shots on a roll, which is really frustrating. But I'm not going to go buy a new one right now, I'm just going to stick it out. The pictures of Joakim cleaning the car are really interesting because the white balance of the film is different to the white balance of the lights, so you get a really different cast on the images. There was also a lot of spray from the water, which created diffusion and haze in the photos, which I think is really interesting. We went downtown again, and I went to a photo store to find some Portra 400. I wanted an extra stop of sensitivity in my film because I knew that the camera was struggling with exposure on the Gold 200 I had in it. Also, I'd never shot with Portra before, so I just wanted to see what all the hype was about. Joakim mentioned that there was a vintage store, so we went there and we saw lots of interesting people and architecture around. That evening we went to a car meet. I didn't have any high ISO film with me, and I didn't want to use all my Portra 400, especially if the night scenes didn't turn out. So I decided to load some Ultramax 400 into my camera instead of loading another roll of Portra 400. The next day, we thought about some photo spots we could go and see. Joakim mentioned there was a mini Shell gas station, so we decided to take a little road trip out to go and photograph it. Here, Joakim lent me his EOS 3, and I loaded it with some Portra 400.
In the bimmer, dude. Post photo shoot. Food. Listen.
Dude.
That evening, I finished off my roll of Portra 400 by shooting some industrial buildings.
Should.
On the fifth day, we went out to one of Finland's national parks to take a circuit walk around a lake in the woods. This turned out to be where I would get one of my favourite photos I've ever taken. This photo is my favourite just because the camera really managed to get some critical focus here, and it also managed to show off the properties of the Zeiss lens. It's extremely sharp, and the sunlight coming through the trees is beautiful.
Onwards.
Let's try this. It's good.
Drink test.
Ooh,
Bussin', dude, isn't it? Fresh lake water.
that's so good. Holy shit.
We managed to meet up with one of my friends from Germany who was visiting Finland at the same time I was. While we were driving around, his Volvo skidded off one of the gravel roads and into a field, which occupied us for a few hours. Later that evening, back at Joakim's apartment, we went out and walked along the waterfront. The camera struggled with some low light stuff, but nothing that I was really too concerned about. Here I finished off my final roll, and that concluded my trip.